that are not ancillary features of another service. So for example, here we have a chat feature that is a part of a video game or something else. Also, this category is divided into two subcategories, number-based and number-independent. So number-based services are the ones that allow a breakout to a public switch telephone network. So the one that are competing with the electronic communication services, Skype out and Viber out. And number-independent, these subcategories using numbering not for communication. For example, WhatsApp will be in this category because it uses a number for identifying your user account. And also other services, the definition is the same because it mainly consists of the conveyance of signals. So here we have communication, machine-to-machine communication, and broadcasting services, both of which do not include internet access or interpersonal communications. So all these services in all these three categories shall be the subject of a regulation only if they are normally provided for remuneration. So the goal is to create regulatory framework that is supporting telecom operators and innovations of OTT players. But even with this draft, I don't think the telecom operators are fully satisfied because OTT players will still have minimal regulation for some services. For example, instant messaging services that are eating their SMS service offering revenues. Now, let us look at the situation of the Republic of Serbia. So regarding OTT services, the current law does not include OTT services, but RATEL is registering OTT operators because they're making income by providing services. And on 19th of May, we had registered 32 VoIP operators and 8 media distribution operators. On this slide, you can see some of the applications, OTT applications that are available in Serbia. So I will first start with the media ones. So these applications are the prepaid solutions for watching TV on your smart devices. And we have ClickPing, D3 Go from SBB, MTS TV Go from Telekom Serbia, etc. And there are also some applications for voice telephony, such as Orion Ring Plus and Unifone. Those applications are used in the range of your local Wi-Fi network to be able to answer your call that you get on your fixed line from any of your smart devices. So the conclusion. OTT services are growing exponentially, and they're not like-for-like substitute for electronic communication services. But I think that telecom operators should see that these are good business potential for them. They can sustain their revenues with flat rates, but they can gain new users using strategies with OTT participants and developing their own solutions and applications. And as for the new draft, if the ACC is adopted by the European Union, the effect of the new regulation will take place in the mid-2019 after the implementation into the national law of member states. And thank you for your attention.
Later, Branko, after Teddy Tsonevski. So I am inviting Ms. Katja Cumet from ACO Slovenia.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Katja Cumet. I'm a head of supervision division in ACOS, Slovenian Regulatory Authority. Since Wada and Maria were so thorough before me, I'm not repeating the same things for the third time now. So I'll just hopefully skip everything that was said already. So we heard already what Berek thinks and what the definitions of Berek are about OTT players. I will skip this one, and you already saw this table, and we were already talking a lot about how telco services are regulated and OTT services are not. But maybe one interesting information that also RCEP had the opportunity to collect some data from OTT providers, and this was from August 2015, but they so far hasn't used this opportunity to do anything about it. And also, Administrative Court of Cologne in Germany decided in November 11 that Google's Gmail service is actually electronic communication service under the present framework. But I think that this case is still pending in the court. So we already heard a lot about future regulation, the future framework, but as we all heard now, it is still just a proposal, and I think that all NRAs are really involved in this process of changing the regulation, and we will see what will come out eventually. Okay, yeah, we know. We have number-based interpersonal communication services and not, those who are using numbering space and not. Okay, we heard this one again. Okay, so, but OTTs are very popular and they are a major driver of the growth of internet traffic. What is actually causing the problems? The entry barriers are quite low, and the value chain has changed recently, so it's not anymore about the network. The money comes from services and content. So now we are questioning about the fairness of this model. So what OTTs need or actually want? They just want fair access to customers. So they want minimal interference from governments, society or competitors. And they want to have high quality internet at affordable prices so they can offer their services to end users. For this, they need a net neutral environment, of course. So what are consumers' perspectives? They just want to use those services, and they're not so much, from their perspective, these OTT services, they fulfill their needs for telecommunication services quite okay, and they don't really mind that it's actually a data service, not a fixed line. So, telecom operators are emphasizing that traffic management practices, which they were not supposed to do, are important because if you want to have a robust, secure, and efficient and functioning network, this is important. So what happened? It happened, net neutrality. Because of all these changes, maybe we didn't mention these CDNs before today, so also because of this traffic growth, some new businesses have emerged, and these OTTs, especially large OTTs, make interconnections, and they come with CDNs closer to the client because they want best experience for end users. So some players, OTT players, are now gaining a really strong, extremely strong position on the market. And because of that, electronic communication operators are making partnerships with different OTTs to make offers more likable to end users. And one of them, not really polite, or how should I say it, net neutrality, zero rating. Already 49% of mobile operators worldwide are offering zero rating services. And another thing why net neutrality is also important is because of all these changes, consumers started complaining because of this division of internet access service and specialized service on the same line. Internet access service quality was worse. And there were a lot of other complaints, port blocking, then blocking of certain applications. For example, you couldn't use the then OTT voice services. Then there is a lot of peer-to-peer throttling, and so on. So why then net neutrality? So here are some numbers that are concerning, and there is, of course, need to do something about it. But, this is the picture of this transition of the current situation when OTTs are coming closer to end users. To come to the reasons for the net neutrality, maybe some other information about internet growth. I will go through really quickly. Here you can see that, for example, new generations only use these social networks also for, this is so-called millennium generation, also for to contact them for business, comparing to the silent generations before 1944, when they still use telephone services. Then you can see what's happening with advertising, how much, what is the growth rate. Then you can see how many apps are being used with mobile users. Then you see what's happening to video. Video is the biggest cause for such a huge internet traffic growth. Then you can see here the social network popularity. Then also how much video views, or said there was already from Nicola some numbers, but here are some more maybe. Then images, messaging, and it's also that we really need not only accuracy, but it's has to also latency has to be good for this new way of using internet. So why internet has to be an open environment? Of course, internet access service providers would like to offer as many as possible so-called specialized services, because they can then charge for better quality. But this increase of use of special services could increase market barriers, and we have to be aware of that. Smaller caps could have a lot of problems and could use more, must use then more effort to enter the market. Consumers are not so much aware of those effects because they cannot value the future services, because what is not existing today, they don't really care. So we have to have others who will think about that just because of lack of their technical, legal, and economic perspective. In the broader net neutrality debate, the overall goal is to continue operation of the Internet as an open environment, enabling innovation and competition among services and providers, and enabling choice of and freedom to communicate for consumers. So this, I'm pretty sure that everybody is aware of the regulation that is in place since December 2015. I think many NRAs in European Union are still in the implementation phase. Here are some most important articles from this regulation. And now, of course, NRAs has to do their roles. But we could already notice some violations of net neutrality rules around Europe. Most commons are, as I mentioned already, zero rating practices. There is a lot of port blocking. Walled garden offers appeared, and some other discriminative traffic management practices have appeared. So why zero rating offers are not really polite actually to even end users, because Internet access service providers is actually then the one who is picking the winners and the losers. As we heard today, Macedonian, I think it was WIP1 or one WIP operator is offering this platform, OTT platform. I mean, it's nice. It's one good service, you could say, for their customers, but it could be even nicer if consumer could choose their own OTT service, not that this number or the OTT services are being predefined by the operator. So smaller CAPs are now concerned that they cannot make partnership with operators because their services are not so popular, they're not so big, they're not so well known. So they cannot grow the same way that these that are big now did before, when Internet was all open. And even some bigger CAPs are quite reluctant to the zero rating because, of course, Internet access service providers want to have some payments for such deals with OTTs because of large data.